So what is today's quote? Always bear in mind, underline bear in mind. That's a standard phrase you have to remember. Always bear in mind means always remember. What does it mean? Always remember. Remember what? That your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. So what is the most important thing if you want success? Your resolution to succeed. To what extent you are firm about your decision, your resolution. Useful or not useful? Useful or very useful? Always remember. Let us go to the phrasal verb of the day. What is today's phrasal verb? Stand up for. What does it mean? Underline the word defend. Also underline the word support. Two dimensions. You defend someone or something, you support someone or something. And look at the two different examples. Context different. He is always standing up for his brother at school. Means what? He is always defending his brother or supporting his brother, either way. But look at the second example. You must stand up for your rights. Means what? You have to fight for your rights. Have you got the difference? Let us go to the editorial vocabulary. Today's editorial is all about bricks, an important editorial. You may get as a passage because of the developments also. So listen very carefully. Try to develop contextual awareness. What is the first word here? Alliance means what? Part of speech, a noun, or it could be. Please change it to noun. Usually a noun. A union or association. Underline the word union. Answer my question, why not an? Why a union? What is the first letter here? Vowel letter. Then why should we use a union? Because it has a consonantal sound. Words with a consonantal sound, though they begin with a vowel letter, we use a. What are the important examples from the exam point of view? A European city, a university, a unique person, a union, a uniform, a universal rule. All these you have to recollect. A one rupee coin, very good. Shall I go to the next one? So it is a union or association formed for mutual benefit, especially between countries or organizations. Add one more, between political parties. Also add the word parties. Countries, organizations and parties. You all know that. Alliance between two parties. Second word, what is the second word here? Coalition. In a way related to that. Part of speech noun. It could also be adjective. Please write adjective. Noun or adjective. When we say coalition government, which part of speech is it? Adjective. Coalition government. Government noun, coalition adjective. What does it mean? A temporary alliance for combined action. This is temporary. Alliance in a way, not temporary. Whenever there are elections, you come across this coalition government. That way it is temporary. But a familiar word, yes or no? Please respond. What is the next one? Evince. Evince part of speech verb reveal the presence of a quality of feeling, but more than that we use the word indicate. Underline the word indicate and write one combination. Evince goes with interest. Please write evince interest. Means what? Indicate interest or show interest. Have you got the combination and meaning? Next one, what is the next word here? Obvious, we have got many a time I use regularly. Obvious means what? Something that goes without saying. But what is the meaning you see here? Easily perceived or understood. Imagine, till yesterday one student came with long hair and today he has come with short hair. What is obvious? It is obvious that he had a haircut. Simple. Do you understand what I say? You don't have to ask him, have you had a haircut? It goes without saying. Till yesterday long hair, today short hair. It goes without saying he had a haircut. It is obvious that he had a haircut. I use this regularly. Next one, important, put a star mark. What is the idiom over here? Weather the storm. And you have to use this from your point of view and look at the meaning to deal with a difficult situation without being harmed or damaged too much. Imagine you face a lot of problems, hardships, then you have to weather the storm. Means what? You have to face and you have to emerge victorious. For this we use one word, resilient. Remember we have already got. See, I may use a lot of words. Write immediately. You don't lose anything by writing. Only thing you gain. Weather the storm, resilient, withstand, all related words quickly. That's an important one. Contingent, another important word as prospective bankers, put a star mark. Contingency, write the word form contingency. I may not write all the words and meanings. I request you guys to write. Please write contingency and write the word form, word combination, contingency fund, F-U-N-D. Contingency or contingent, now look at the meaning. Depending on something else in the future in order to happen. You may not understand. Contingency fund, usually you save some amount, keeping in mind some problem that may come in future. For that fund, what is the word? Contingency fund. That's what it means. And it's an important expression you have to remember. Go to the next one, an easy one. What is the meaning of the word rival? Usually we say, he is my rival, she is my rival. Means what? A person or thing competing with another. Someone competes with you, then what is the term? A rival. I'm sure you all know the word rival. And here I would like to give one expression. Write the other word form. Please write the word rivalry. Rival, a person or a thing. It could be a product also in business context. And rivalry, another form of the word. And I want you guys to learn this one. What is it? Sibling rivalry. I have already given once or twice. I don't mind giving again. What is the meaning of sibling rivalry? Siblings means brothers and sisters. Usually in a family, brothers and sisters always fight, not serious fights. Yes or no? So that is known as sibling rivalry, an important. And sometimes you may get a passage in prelims or mains based on sibling rivalry. What are the reasons behind all that? Let us go to the next one, an important word we have got for the first time. What is the word over here? Heft, part of speech noun. It has two or three meanings in the context of the editorial. The weight of someone or something. Here weight means don't take literally. What it means next to the word, right? Influence and power. Influence. Here heft means what? A particular group can influence. It has power. Then we use the term heft. Literal meaning you should not take sometimes. Weight of someone or something. Don't take the literal meaning. What is the next word? A raison d'etre. Have you heard of this any time? I think we have got this. It's a French word. Look at the meaning. Put a star mark. Foreign words are very important. Exam point of view. Part of speech noun. The most important reason or purpose for your existence. Someone or something's existence. Important purpose or important reason. A raison d'etre. A bit difficult to remember. You have to write once or twice. Coherence we have got many a time. What does it mean? Part of speech noun. The quality of forming a unified whole. One meaning. Write the other meaning. I usually give this meaning, but I give a different, in a different context. When I take classes related to descriptive English, when it comes to essay writing, I use this word. Coherence means what? Any writer has to have this coherence. That is a deciding factor to call someone a writer. Simply you list out the points, you're not a writer. But when you write an essay, there should be coherence. Means what? Write the meaning. Smooth and logical. Two important words. Smooth and logical flow of ideas or sentences. Here sentences. Also write the word sentences. Smooth and logical flow of ideas or sentences, underline the word sentences. How do you make it happen? By using the link words. How do you show coherence? By using what? Link words. You present an idea, you want to express contrasting information. I usually give an example. Hyderabad city is growing by leaps and bounds. However, the development is lopsided. This is the continuity. This is what I call coherence. Let us go to the next one. Mired. Mire is a verb, it's a regular verb, caused to become stuck in mud. When you place your foot in the mud, it gets stuck or not? It gets stuck. But don't take the literal meaning. Here what it means, to get involved in a problem, or to get involved in a difficulty, or in a hardship. To experience a problem, or a difficulty, or a hardship. Please don't make me go for the announcement. I hate to do that. Now you all understand when I say the word announcement. Today also, in a way, you are compelling me to say that. I will change my wording. Please write whatever I say. This session is not to listen. It is to listen, write, assimilate, comprehend all these things simultaneously. For that you have to be alert. Listen, write, assimilate, comprehend. Four things have to happen simultaneously. For that, casual approach will not work. So what is the last one I said? Mire means what? Literal meaning, to get stuck in mud. But based on the context, what does it mean? To get involved in a particular problem or difficulty or hardship. Intentionally I use the words. See, I have a lot of words. I use certain words repeatedly, the reason being those words are very important from the exam point of view. And I expect you guys to write those words. And arch rivals, one unit, idiomatic expression. Today if you take the field of cricket, India and Pakistan, arch rivals, what do you understand? The chief rival of a person, team or organization. It has been going on for quite some time. India, Pakistan, arch rivals. Have you heard of this any time? Okay. Detente, again a foreign word. Whenever you see a stroke above the letter E, tell yourself it's a foreign word. Detente, part of speech noun. The easing of hostility, underline the word hostility, or strained relations. Strained hostility, negative words. Easing already you have got. Easing means what? You got last week. Easing, the editorial started with easing. To reduce the negative aspect of something, especially between countries. In this context, between countries. An important word, foreign word. I would like to give based on that because I have just said, whenever you come across a stroke above the letter E, tell yourself it's a foreign word. First you write this word. And two strokes. How do you pronounce this? Standard English. It's a foreign word, French word. You have to say resume. What are you supposed to say? A resume. That is the actual pronunciation. Bring your resume. But now, because of Americans, the strokes have disappeared. And we use the word resume. What do you say? Bring your resume. But resume has two different meanings. Please write noun. When I say bring your resume, is it a noun or a verb? Noun. Bring your resume. Where is your resume? But resume also means a verb. As a verb, it means to start your work again. Restart your work. To start your work again. Resume your work. Imagine I start my work at 10. I stop for tea at 11:30. After the tea break, I restart my work. Then what do I say? I resume my work. As a verb, a different meaning. We'll go to the next word. What is the next word here? Overtly. Means openly, without concealment. Underline the word conceal. What does it mean, conceal? Write the word hide. There itself you could write H-I-D-E. But in the previous word, I told you to underline the word hostility. Hostile. Write one word. Hostile. Not hostile. Hostile. What is the word here? Hostile. And I would like to give one important word. First you write a simple word, but be careful with the spelling. What is the spelling of this word? Enmity. E-N-M-I-T-Y. Enemy, enmity. Simple word, but another word, important word, write the word antagonistic. Have you heard of this word any time? Antagonistic, antagonism means what? Hostility and enmity. All the three words important: hostile, enmity, antagonistic. Important from the exam point of view. Overtly, what is opposite? Please write the word covertly. Overt means open, and opposite covert means what? Secretly. Not openly, secretly. The next word, assert. We have got this word many a time. Every batch I tell students, whenever I come across, I give a different word form. What is the other word form? Is the mic on? Assertive. I always tell youngsters, once you take up the job, you get the job. At the workplace initially, you have to be assertive. Means what? Firm. Your boss may ask you to break the rules. Because you are young and new to the workplace, you may feel a little hesitant to say no to the boss. But if you do that, you are in trouble. Throughout your career, you'll go off the track. You know rules are there. You're not supposed to break the rules. Your boss tells you break the rules. Firmly, you have to say, no, sir, sorry, sir. That means what? You're assertive, very firm. And assertive nature, here it may sound very easy. What is the big deal? I'll say no to my boss. But have you seen the movie F2? You all remember? One of the heroes, before marriage, makes bold statements. Does it sound familiar? What does he say? Gets recorded also. I will not change. I am going to do whatever I want to do after marriage. This is also like that. It is not that easy. I hope you got it, what I am trying to say. Fine. Here, sitting here, I may say you have to be assertive. But tomorrow you take up the job, the boss is in front of you, you will literally shake to say no. It is not that easy. What is the next word over here? Prosperity. I am sure you all know what does it mean. Part of speech noun. The state of being successful and having a lot of money. Prosperous. Prosperous means what? Wealthy, rich. And what is the opposite of prosperity? Write the word poverty. Also write the word penury. Poverty, everyone knows. Poor, being poor. Easy words, but poverty, penury. One more important word, destitution. But write the other form, destitute. He is a destitute. She is a destitute. Means what? Very poor person. Extremely poor. Then we use the word penury, destitution. We call that person destitute. You all remember Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, we all know she got the Nobel Prize, and though not Indian by birth, settled in Calcutta. And why she helped a lot of destitutes in and around Calcutta. She helped, whom did she help? Destitutes. Destitutes means what? Very poor people. Let us go to the next one, mortar. Mortar means what? A mixture of sand, water and cement or lime that is used to fix bricks. When you want to construct a wall, you need two things. One, you need bricks. The other, you need mortar. And what is this mortar made of? Sand, cement, a little water. Everyone knows this. But in the context, a different meaning. In fact, this editorial has used a lot of words that go with everyday English, but the secondary meaning and the tertiary meaning, a different meaning altogether. Before I go to the editorial, please all of you write one idiomatic expression, bricks and mortar model. Have you heard of this? Bricks and mortar model. Traditional businesses, first you write this, bricks and mortar model, or bricks and mortar shop, or business. Shop you can write. What does it mean? Traditionally, if you take a shop is what? A concrete structure made of mortar, bricks and mortar, obviously. Something like this, we have shelves and all, it becomes a shop. So, traditional shopping, we use the idiomatic expression, bricks and mortar model. That was in the past. Now also it is there, but the new trend is what? You all know e-commerce. E-commerce, e-shopping or e-shops, opposite of bricks and mortar model. Have you got the difference now? Is the mic on? Have you got the difference? E-commerce, online shopping, e-shops, opposite of what? Bricks and mortar model. Now we'll go to the editorial. As I said, this editorial is all about BRICS. Where was it held? South Africa. And initially, how many countries? 5 countries. Now, how many countries? 11 countries. 6 have been added or going to be added. Whenever you come across an editorial that deals with a particular conference or summit or a gathering of different countries, all these countries are members of a particular organization. Basic questions: where did they assemble? When did they assemble? Why did they assemble? What was the agenda? And what were the resolutions? What is the impact of these resolutions? And what are the hurdles in the process of implementing the resolution? There is a broad framework. Any conference, any summit, do remember. This also takes us in the same direction. How does it start? Concrete alliance. Again, you have to know 2 words. Usually I give regular classes. All of you write the word concrete, then you write the word abstract. Concrete means something you can see or touch. If I say this is a mobile, will you believe it? Yes. How? You can see, you can come and touch. Concrete, one meaning. Concrete also means a wall, concrete building. If you take this building, what is it? Concrete building, another meaning. But here these 2, concrete, something you can see or touch, and what is opposite? Abstract, something you cannot see or touch. We all take a lot of pride in talking about Indian culture. Where is Indian culture? Can you show me? That is abstract. I hope you got the difference. So this writer, I enjoyed while reading this. Concrete alliance, 2 meanings. One meaning based on the context of bricks. Bricks, spelling is different, but if you take as a pun, bricks, what are you supposed to think of? Mortar and concrete. So the writer has started with that particular idea, concrete alliance, but actually it means in this context solid. Concrete wall, solid or not solid? So solid alliance, strong alliance, that's what it means. And what is this alliance about? On the BRICS grouping and its expansion. Here there are 2 dimensions. One is BRICS as such, as an organization, one dimension. And the second dimension, as I said, it's all about expansion from 5 countries to 11 countries. It touches that dimension as well. But what is the main idea of this editorial? BRICS found new purpose with its expansion, but also more contradictions. Underline the word but. We use but to express a contrasting idea. However, but, though, although, nevertheless, notwithstanding, all these. BRICS found new purpose with its expansion, new objectives, new purpose, new goals, but also more contradictions. A situation like this, first part talks about something positive, second part talks about something negative. Then there is one word. What is that word? We have got many a time. Write the word paradoxical, or simply write paradox. Paradox, we also use the word irony. Irony has 2 or 3 meanings. Better word is paradox. Paradoxical situation. Both positive and negative exist at the same time. Shall I go to the editorial? BRICS found new purpose with its expansion, but also more contradictions. If there was any doubt about the relevance, underline the word if. Whenever you come across the word if, you have to think of what? Conditionals. But here you don't see any conditional. The clauses are not in the expected pattern. If there was any doubt about the relevance of, relevance, I haven't underlined a few words because so many words already. Underline the word relevance. I hope you know the meaning. Relevance means what? Appropriate or not appropriate? Related to. About the relevance of the BRICS grouping. What are these 5 countries? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, which held its 15th summit. Underline the word 15th summit Also underline which held, hold, held, past, which held its 15th summit in Johannesburg this week. Underline the word this week. Tell me, is the sentence right or wrong based on your grammar knowledge? Why is it wrong? When you underline the word this week, you have to recollect an important rule. What is it? You should use past tense or present perfect. Which has been held. Please write next to it. Which has been held. Has been held, present perfect tense. Passive voice, which has been held. And the new students, if you wonder, why should we use present perfect here? Why not past? This week is complete or incomplete? Today is complete or incomplete? This month complete or incomplete? Whenever there is a time phrase that indicates incomplete time period, we have to use present perfect tense. Based on that here, which held is not correct, which has been held. This week, the massive global interest in its outcomes should have put those to rest. So what does it mean? Initially, before the summit, a few people must have doubted the objectives of BRICS as an organization. But based on the expansion, based on the resolutions, massive global interest, all those doubts have been kept aside. All the doubts cleared. That's what it means. Shall I go to the second sentence? Underline the phrase, put those to rest. Put those to rest. Put something to rest. Means you don't have to discuss about that further. That's what it means. Imagine something is controversial. All the controversies have been put to rest. What does it mean? They are not going to discuss or talk about those controversies. An important expression. And also underline should have. There are a lot of new students. This is a heterogeneous group. We have seniors, we have new students. I have to think of both, and I have to strike a balance. Should have an important expression, but generally the meaning I give a different meaning, different context. Please write should have plus verb, past participle form. What does it mean? It is used to express an unfulfilled duty. Careful with spelling. Unfulfilled. F-U-L-F-I-L-L-E-D. Unfulfilled duty or a neglected action. Because this is something important, I am spending a few minutes on this. Important from the exam point of view. I will explain with examples. So what is the function of should have plus verb past participle? To express an unfulfilled duty means at the workplace, or to express a neglected action personal. Imagine the manager gave you some work yesterday, you did not do the work, morning he called you and blasted you. Your face became very small, natural. And your friend asked you, what happened? You look so sad and disturbed. Manager blasted me. Oh really, why? He gave some work, important work I did not do. What will your friend say or your colleague say? Sensible colleague. You should have done the work. Have you got the function? Unfulfilled duty. You should have completed the work. You should have done the work. And please excuse me. Second one, neglected action. Imagine yesterday was the last day to pay a particular bill, current bill. And I forgot. Today no power. Then what will you guys say? You should have paid the bill. Means what? I neglected, you are telling you should have paid the bill. Very important exam point of view. Do remember. Going to the next sentence, should have put those to rest. Ever since, underline ever since, another important expression you have to remember. Ever since the grouping set up as a coalition of emerging economies said last year that it was open to new members. Ever since means from the time started, write the meaning. Ever since means from the beginning. Better you write this way. From the beginning. Ever since the grouping set up as a coalition of emerging economies. Here, this is added information. Main idea, ever since the grouping, added information set up as a coalition of emerging economies. But ever since the grouping, from the beginning, the group said last year that it was open to new members as many as 40 countries the global south have evinced interest in joining, with at least 22 formal applications. The sentence says they started, and last year I think they announced they would take new members, and based on that tremendous response, global interest. How many countries wanted to be part of BRICS? 40 countries. Of these, how many formal applications? 22. That's a pretty big number. 40 and also 22. The decision to more than double its membership overnight, but they have decided to take how many? Only 11, not 40, not 22. The decision to more than double, 5, 11, more than double, underlying the expression more than double. The decision to more than double its membership overnight, just like that, within no time. Overnight means within no time. From 5 to 11, by inducting, underline the word inducting. We have got this word many a time. Induct means what? I give the same example. Tomorrow you get the job, first day you go to a bank, someone receives, talks about your responsibilities. That process is called induction. Formally taking you into an organization, making you part of the organization. Inducting 4 major Middle Eastern players: Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Ethiopia and Argentina, one from Africa, the other from South America. Underline, total how many? 4 from the Middle East and 1 from Africa, 1 from Latin America, South America. Underline South America, there itself you write Latin America. Both mean the same, Argentina, respectively, is significant. Significant means what? Important. The enthusiasm is obvious. Enthusiasm means what? Interest. You all know the word enthusiasm. You are all enthusiastic. No second thoughts about that. And obvious means what? Goes without saying. And enthusiasm, I usually tell students one thing. If you ask the question, who is the best teacher? Answer is, interest is the best teacher. Who is the best teacher in the world? Interest. When you are interested in something, that interest becomes the best teacher. You can learn a lot. A very useful quote, in fact. So here it talks about is significant. After that, the enthusiasm is obvious. It goes without saying. BRICS has weathered. Underline BRICS. Answer my question. Is this an abbreviation or an acronym? How many of you say acronym? Raise your hands. How many of you say abbreviation? Raise your hands. It is an acronym. Write the word acronym. Then you may wonder what is the difference between. Please write 2 words quickly. First you write the word abbreviation, then you write the word acronym. Abbreviation means you take the first letters from different words and you pronounce every letter. How do I pronounce this? BBC. All the letters are pronounced. That is an abbreviation. What do the letters stand for? British Broadcasting Corporation. On the other hand, what is an acronym? You take the first letters of different words and you form a word. Here, am I saying BRICS or am I saying BRICS as one word? One word. If I make a word, it is an acronym. So BRICS is what? Not an abbreviation, it is an acronym. Another example usually I give, NATO. What do the letters stand for? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I don't say NATO. I say NATO, one word. That is an acronym. Let us go to the editorial. BRICS. So acronym considered one unit based on that singular verb. Has weathered, which tense is that? Present perfect tense. Has weathered several storms. Means it withstood many problems and is today seen, if not as any alternative, seen as what? As a counter-narrative creator to the Western-led G7 club on diverse issues. There are 2 major groups right now. One is G7, that belongs to rich countries or poor countries. Affluent countries. Affluent means rich. On the other hand, we have BRICS. This represents emerging economies. I don't know how many of you know Today this editorial, I may spend a lot of time on the editorial. It is worth spending, not only from passages point of view, from close test, parajumble, and descriptive paper. If you take the world, generally when you write about India, if you read the articles about India, you come across two expressions. One, they say India is a third world country. Have you heard of that? Respond. India is a developing country, another expression. You should wonder what is this third world? If India is a third world country, what comes under the first world? What comes under the second world? Obviously, that should be the question. If you take the entire world, traditionally divided into three groups. First one, we call it first world. What is this first world? Industrially developed capitalist countries. First world means what? Industrially developed capitalist countries. Private sector is the dominant thing. Second world, industrially developed communist countries. Second world what? Industrially developed communist countries. State is the ultimate. No private sector, only public sector. First world examples, the US, the UK, France, Germany. Second world, former USSR. Many Eastern European countries. Now coming to India, third world. Third world means developing or underdeveloped socialist countries. Socialist means a combination of private sector and public sector. And the best example, banks you have in the private sector, you have in the public sector. So these countries are the Latin American countries, the African countries, the Asian countries. They belong to the third world, either developing or underdeveloped. India is a developing country, so what do they say? Third world country. BRICS has weathered several storms and is today seen, if not as an alternative, as of now not an alternative, as a counter-narrative creator to the Western-led G7 club on diverse issues. What are those issues? From climate change commitments and UN reform to its rejection of unilateral Western sanctions. Underline unilateral means one-sided, no discussion, nothing. Unilateral, one-sided Western sanctions against how many countries? Three countries. What are the three countries? Iran, Russia, and Venezuela. But in the recent past, which country? Russia, because of the war. By also creating the new development bank, one of the initiatives taken by BRICS, creation of the new development bank, which has funded nearly 100 projects so far. Underline the phrase so far. I've told many a time. So far means from the past to the present. Then you have to use which tense? Present perfect tense. Underline has funded. That is present perfect. This is something very important, exam point of view. Certain clues you have to have. Then 1 second you can spot the error. Has funded nearly 100 projects so far. Instituting, besides that, instituting a contingent reserve arrangement. Contingency, something that becomes handy in emergency. Some problem in future, you're already prepared. You have the fund, contingency fund. An important word you have to know. Contingency, contingent reserve arrangement, and other institutional mechanisms. The BRICS countries have also shown their ability to work on practical initiatives. More practical. What is the other word for practical? Pragmatic. Very good. Please write the word pragmatic. That's an important word. That's why I asked. Pragmatic. Next one. Practical approach, practical initiatives. While the grouping may not yet rival, underline the word yet, may not yet rival the wealth of the G7. What do you understand from this? As of now, BRICS, when it comes to the wealth of G7, they are nowhere near, because G7, affluent countries, affluent societies, rich countries, BRICS nowhere near. But on the other hand, it does now rival, underline, and it does. Tell me what is the difference between it rivals, it does rival. I usually give one example. If someone asks you, do you like English? God's sake, don't say I don't like English. Till you get the job at least. You may say casually, yes, I like English. Typical answer. But imagine you like a lot. You want to emphasize. What will you say? Yes, I do like. Does she like music? She likes. Casual. Emphatic? Yes, she does like. So here it does now rival. Emphatic. I hope you got. It is used for emphasis. It does rival. Wealth, it is nowhere near G7. But it does rival its share of the global GDP. How much? When it comes to GDP, it is almost there, approximately 30% each, and represents a more equitable representation across 40% of the world's population to the G7 countries that make up just 10%. BRICS 40% and G7 10%. In spite of that, they are almost there when it comes to GDP. That is something appreciable and positive. Once the new members join, how many new members? 6. 6 of 10 of the biggest global oil suppliers. No, it does not talk about all the members. Once the new members join, what will happen? 6 of 10 of the biggest global oil suppliers will be BRICS countries. What are those 6? I think you can list out. Giving BRICS new heft in the field of energy. Now understand the meaning of the word heft. Here heft means what? New power, new authority, and ability to influence in which field? Field of energy. Oil-rich countries, obviously. That is all about the first part. Let us go to the second part of the editorial. While the battle of proving its raison d'etre may have been substantially won, underline may have been, might have been, both mean the same, but is it an active voice or passive voice? Please write passive voice. May have been won. Substantially is an adverb. Put the adverb in brackets. What do you get? May have been completed. May have been won. Passive voice, obviously. What is the function of? I'll talk about active voice. She might have stolen the chain. He might have stolen the chain. He may have stolen. Both mean the same. But usage point of view, we use might. It talks about a past possibility which is a guess. Imagine yesterday there was a party, a lot of people came, and I lost my gold chain. I'm not quite sure who stole my chain, but I can guess. When I'm not sure, what do? I guess. I suspect the servant. Then what do I say? The servant might have stolen the chain. Have you got it? Same thing, passive voice. May have been substantially won. The BRICS countries still fall short. Underline fall short. Fall short, positive or negative? Fell short of the expected standards, means could not meet the expected standards. Still fall short in showing a coherence of purpose. When it comes to a particular group, they should have a purpose. And that purpose or objective should be very strong, unified. But here it talks about when it comes to coherence or unity, still they are not up to the expected mark and are still mired by, means deeply engulfed in by inner contradictions. Inside internal contradictions, not acceptable. The rivalry, and to substantiate that statement, the rivalry between India and China has no doubt slowed the grouping down. We all know about the rivalry between India and China, and what is the impact of that on BRICS? Slowed down. And the induction of arch rivals in this context, which two countries? Iran and Saudi Arabia, UAE on the one hand, Iran on the other hand. Despite their recent detente, and could well create similar issues for the group in the future. So this is not a good thing. In the group you have arch rivals. Can you expect progress? Not practically possible. That's what the sentence talks about. In addition, any overtly political, anti-Western against the West, anti-Western stance by BRICS, underline the word stance, means stand. What stand you take about the Western countries by BRICS will make India and other countries in the grouping who walk a tightrope between the global powers What are those other countries, including Egypt, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil, uncomfortable? The sentence means any stand taken against the West. We have ties with Western countries. Any stand against the West makes us feel uncomfortable. Not only India, other countries also. Underline the expression walk a tight rope. Walk a tight rope means be in a very difficult situation, careful situation. When you walk on a tight rope, you can be casual, you have to be attentive, alert. If you're not alert, you will fall. Very simple. That's what it talks about. How does the editorial end? Russia's invasion of Ukraine too has caused uneasiness. Why? And BRICS members did not vote as a bloc on any of the UN votes because Russia is part of BRICS. Obviously, they could not afford to do that. Nor did any of the other members support Russia's actions. Above all, any attempt by China to overpower the group with its strategic or economic vision will require a firm pushback. Imagine in the group China is there. If China tries to overpower other countries, then it has to be resisted. Pushback means what? Resist. A firm pushback if the foundational idea of BRICS to assert the strategic autonomy of its members is to be followed. What is the foundational idea of BRICS? To be assertive, assert strategic autonomy. Autonomy means what? Independence. Autonomous body, independent body. It has to be followed. In that process, they have to resist if China tries to overpower. Eventually, it is a promise of shared prosperity and a more democratic model of global governance that attracts so many in the global south to the grouping and will provide the mortar for an expanded lineup of BRICS countries. Here, mortar means what? Solid support or some sort of structure. That's all about the editorial. It has taken almost, what time is it? I would like to ask a question. Do you have a session after this? How many of you have to attend a session after this? Raise your hands. Is it a regular class or a special class? A regular 10 to 1 session. Then I cannot. We'll work on this on Monday. If possible, spend time. If not, we'll take the same page and spend time on Monday. Shall we do it that way? They have to hurry. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.